Caroline here, and I am coming to you with another layout using the February Best of Both Worlds kit from Chamel. I only have 2 challenges left to do, this one and then the final challenge is to use a cut file. So today's challenge is to use a wreath design. I'm going to go quite a different way to the way that Chamel went with her finished project for this, and that is because I have this piece of paper left in my stash. Can't remember whether Chamel actually included this one in her kit, but because I couldn't find all of the papers that she recommended, I swapped this one in, and this is from I'll have to check. Fairly sure this is one of the Simple Stories papers. Yeah, there's the heart eyes. So my intention is to go and put my audiobook on and fussy cut out every one of these shapes, including the partials, because I'll be able to tuck those in, and then use that as the basis to create my wreath. I'm going to do a full wreath, I think, with these elements and then some stickers tucked in. I will possibly use, depending on how many bits I need, I will use one whole one of these as a template to cut out additional pieces from the scrap that I've got left. So I've got everything I've got left obviously coordinates with the paper because it was all a kit, and what I don't have is a background sheet left from the original kit, so I'm going to be pulling in either a piece of cardstock or I will use one of those Doodlebug 12 by 12 sheets from that background pack. So I'm really looking forward to creating this project. I was quite daunted by it when I watched Chamel create hers, but that was until I'd looked through my stash, and when I realised I had this piece of paper, I saved it. And I'm actually really glad that I was running behind with my projects for the kit, because there's a high chance I would have used this for a different project. I think I'd kind of intended on cutting it a kind of a piece of it out, but having that nice edge and then layering up and underneath that. So really glad I saved it. Going to stop the video now, pop my audiobook on and fussy cut everything out, and then I will come back, keep you on fast forward and put the page together. Okay, so it didn't take too long to cut out all of the pieces, and I've just at the moment separated them into whole hexagons and partials. At this point I'm thinking that I will be going off the edges of the page, kind of interacting with the edges of the page with these shapes, but the end result is that I don't actually do that. I do pretty much keep all of the hexagons as full hexagons. I think I only use a couple of partial pieces. So the next step will be to add in a piece of background paper. Now I don't have any of the 12 by 12 full 12 by 12 sheets or anything that I could even kind of piece together to make a background page, other than the additional Doodlebug mini prints that Chamel often recommends. So I'm pulling out this hot pink check and a black and white polka dot to decide which one I'm going to go with, and I will end up going with the black and white polka dot. Now bizarrely, as I've watched this video back, I've noticed that once this is on camera a lot, you see lots of strange additional I don't know, circles within the dots that you don't see in real life. So this is just a very straight black and white polka, and it looks really, really lovely with the colours of the kit. Really enjoying working with black backgrounds at the moment. I think because the colours are so vibrant, it's helping to just make everything pop. So I'm working with one photo. It's a 3x4 photo. It's got quite a blue tinge to it because of the environment where the selfie was taken. And what I've done here is I've just matted it onto that onto that pink with the orange dot, just to give it a bit of a lift. And the sketch calls for a journaling block on the left hand side. Now I will show a really bad example of the sketch briefly in a moment, and Chamel's original sketch had a frame around the outside and a torn third of paper up at the top because of what she was working with left in her kit. But because I've got this one sheet now of black and white polka, I've got lots and lots of pattern and colour to bring in because of the shapes that I'm using. So I'm just going to go with a full wreath design with the photo offset slightly to the right hand side, and then this piece of my favourite paper, that stripe, to the left, which I'll be able to use for my journaling. Now I'm copying the design of the sketch and having that photo on the right and the journaling on the left. The faces in the photo are facing straight out, although the body language of Alora is facing one way and the other person is facing the opposite way. So I could really have switched the photo and the journaling block over, but I wanted to just go with where things were on the sketch and the focal point to be Alora's face anyway. So that's why I went with this design. Now I've cut out lots of my messing around with these shapes because I can't tell you how long it took me to get them into just a vague shape of a wreath. And I wanted to fill in the block across the centre, which I've kind of partially done. There are a couple of pieces that I opted to leave out to try to give that illusion of a wreath shape as opposed to just a slightly squished circle. But I like how it works out in the end. I really do, and I love that I was able to use this one piece of paper to create all of this design. It was just really lucky for me that I had that left over. What I'm doing now is going through the sticker sheet, going to use up lots of stickers on this and just pop them all onto pop dots. I'm making sure that the elements repeat 3 times if I can. So I've got a heart with the word inside it that will be popping up 3 times. I've also got the telephone icon, and it really matches the journaling that I'm going to be writing. So that was great to bring that in 3 times. And then that heart eyes, cute heart eyes icon is on one of the die cuts, and I've also brought in 2 of the stickers, popped it up onto pop dots, and just really happy to be softening those edges a little bit with some of these stickers. That's what I'm aiming to do. And also where I've got a couple of partial die cuts, such as that orange floral that's underneath that text me on the bottom right of the photo. It was a partial shape. I'm just putting it on the top to soften the edge. I have got one partial down the bottom with that heart icon, but I'm going to bring in, I've got that in my mind, and I know I'm going to bring in some word phrase stickers and just kind of cluster those down to that bottom left. So just bringing in things now that I know I'm probably not going to use. It's a sweet story, so I'm putting sweets on there. Anything that kind of makes my heart happy, just using things up. And when I'm working on pages for Alora, I'm really happy to just bring in the colour, bring in the cuteness, because it works really, really well with all of the stories that I have to tell about her. So I've added my title in, and I'm just building up more layers with the pop dotted stickers, trying to scatter the colours around. So I've brought in that kind of chocolate dipped strawberry and a chocolate in a cake tin, but then I stuck that lollipop quite close to the chocolate strawberry. So I'm going to move that so that the colours and the elements are scattered around. You know, I don't want 3 of these sweets to be next to each other. I want them to be in a bit of a triangle. But my aim here was not to create 3 distinct visual triangle areas that I normally would do, you know, 3 embellishment clusters. I just wanted to kind of soften the wreath shape a little bit. I can't completely soften it, you know, it's not going to be, it's going to be always going to be kind of design orientated because of the shapes. You know, there are points to the shapes. I'm not working with circles, I'm working with hexagons, so there's going to be jarred edges, but these would just soften those edges a little bit. Now, as I'm adding in these word phrase stickers, it's about this time that I decide I am just going to throw pretty much every sticker that is on this sheet that I haven't already earmarked for my final layout onto it. So I'm bringing in those, I think they're candy corns, are they? We don't have those in the UK, but I think that's what they are. I often see them in Halloween designs. And I'm also going to bring in the XO. I've got a title on there, but I've got a bit of space at the bottom, so I put the XO stickers on. Really happy that I did that. And then I toyed with starting to then completely fill the wreath so that you just had this block of colour in the middle, but I'm glad that I didn't. I'm glad that I used this element, this design feature, kept those open spaces in the wreath, because I mean it's already really, really busy, and the background itself being polka dot is still quite busy, so I'm glad that I managed to stop myself from filling in everything, and I think I'm much happier with it as it is than as I would have been if I'd have just kept going and kept adding things. That hexagon with the stripe, I really wanted to get it on there, but because of the orientation of my hexagons, if to get it on there, everything would have been the journal block would have been horizontal and the stripes on the hexagon would have been diagonal, and my brain wasn't happy with that. I needed to have them either both horizontal or just one piece. So now I'm just finishing things off, looking to see if I can use any of these partials. You'll see me move backwards and forwards between adding in some more hexagons under the photo, struggling to still try to get that second piece of striped paper on there, the one that is the hexagon shape, but still in the end I end up not using it. And in the very end I will pull up some of the pieces that I've already stuck down now, just to return it to more of a wreath shape as opposed to a filled in circle. I will be adding in a few enamel dots scattered around just to soften those edges, and really happy with how this looks in the end. Okay, so here we have the finished layout. I have added in those enamel dots into 3 areas, and off camera I added in another cluster of word phrase stickers. I've also taken away, I did decide, I toyed with the idea once I'd got all of this filled in, whether to fill in this space here. It didn't look right. I wanted to keep it open to retain the wreath effect, but then I decided that just having this bit open didn't feel very balanced, so I've actually pulled up a few of the fill-in areas that I'd done there, and I much prefer it. You've definitely got that feeling of a wreath shape. It's definitely not a design that I would usually use, so it's been really good to play with this kind of design. It's been a little bit challenging because I didn't have that full vision of where I was headed. I think if I'd known I was going to piece together more of a mosaic under the photo, then I wouldn't have staggered things as I did up here to enable, you know, I staggered them to get that circle, but that meant everything was a little out, but it's fine. So I'm happy with this. It's going to look great in the album. I'll just got to add my journaling off camera here and then take some photos, and then that's this one done. So I have only one challenge left with this kit. That is the cut file challenge. So I am going to head to create that next, and then the following video will be an introduction to my March kit, and I will start working with that. So really looking forward to working with the cut file, and also really looking forward to moving on to a different kit, different colour scheme, different motifs, and changing things up a bit. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate any likes, any thumbs up, and any new subscribers. So if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed it, subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.